Hey guys, today we're talking pricing, and not just pricing, but pricing strategy. I'm going to be sharing 3 of my pricing strategies that I believe when applied together can be total game changers in your business, helping you charge what you're worth in order to build both a profitable and sustainable business, not getting burnt out in the long run. And then towards the end, I'll be sharing the one philosophy that I believe really helped me rise above my highly saturated market to build a consistent 6-figure business, taking only 20 weddings a year and all dream clients. Not a bridezilla in the bunch. So if this sounds good, let's go ahead and dive into strategy number 1. Strategy number 1 is really more of a mindset shift. You are not your ideal client. Your ideal client might have totally different financial situation than you, different value sets than you, different spending habits. So by charging based on what you would be willing to pay or have paid in the past, you're gonna really limit your success. And this is something that I found trips a lot of photographers up, actually, especially when you're getting into the industry with past experiences that you're bringing into your business. For example, if you're getting into the wedding photography industry, a lot of times people getting into it have been past brides themselves and have had the experience of budgeting for a wedding and needing to keep things within a certain amount. And maybe, it was a stretch for them to afford the photographer that they wanted. So they're bringing in that experience of, only being able to pay a certain amount. And with that, because that's what they were comfortable paying, that might be what they're comfortable charging. The thing is, your ideal client might have a totally different budget than you. And a lot of times with bigger budgets, they're not even going to be looking at photographers in that $1,000 to $2,000 range because they're going to be looking based on what they're willing to spend. And if they really value photography, they're going to be looking at higher caliber photographers and really investing in beautiful work and images that are going to last that lifetime for them. So that's why it's so important to not base it just on you. You need to base it based on the people that you're targeting. The other thing with this is by pricing within your comfort zone, I feel like it really limits your growth just on a personal level because I always am a proponent of pricing a little bit outside what you feel comfortable with because it pushes you to improve and improve fast. So I think it's okay to be a little bit scared, but be more scared of being stagnant. Strategy number 2 is to develop a clear vision. I think it's worth taking a little time to think about what would your ultimate life as a photographer look like? Where would you like to be in 3 to 5 years from now? How much money would you like to be making? And what kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you envision having a big fancy studio and a lot of associate photographers that are working underneath you? Or do you picture something a little bit more simple and maybe a little bit more intimate working from home? Do you want to travel the world photographing beautiful weddings and far-off destinations? Or are you getting into photography because you love the idea of being at home more and being there for your family and your children as they grow? Whatever your goals are for your business and kind of your dreams, lifestyle, aspirations for the future, that will really shape kind of how you go forward and your pricing strategies. For me, I knew that I didn't want any bridezillas. I knew that I wanted a manageable number of weddings where I could really dive deep into getting to know my clients on like a besties sort of level. And that was one thing that made it really fulfilling for me and that I knew would keep me from getting burnt out in the long term. But I also knew that I wanted to make a sustainable 6-figure salary and not have to worry where my next booking was going to come from. So those were a few goals for me in the beginning, and I don't think that it has to be perfect. Your vision can evolve and change over time, but it's just good to start with this. I think a lot of photographers get into the business and their goal is to just get by. It's just like, okay, how can I get work? And they're not really thinking long term. And I think that this, there's been studies that have been done that 60% of photographers will fail within their first year of business and 85% fail within year 3. And I think the reason for this is, the goal is just to survive. It's not a bigger goal, and they're not pricing for that sustainability long term. Now, one of my favorite quotes is from Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. And I think adding to that, it's also important to begin with the journey in mind. Because the journey and the process to get to that end goal is what's going to keep you doing it long term. So that you hit year 3, 5, and 10 and continue to keep that passion alive and be able to do what you love long term and make it a sustainable career in business. Strategy number 3, rise up fast. Now, this is one of the most important things that I feel really helped me build my business quickly to where it is today. So I want to unpack it a little bit. But first, I want to say that if you're just getting started in business, it's okay to start low. You need to do what it takes to get those first bookings and to gain that experience. Heavens knows I didn't start up here where I am today. I started, my first couple weddings were $800. I didn't want to have them be free. So first couple were that, and then every few bookings, I would raise my prices. And I did big price jumps because I knew that where I was with those first couple bookings, that's not where I wanted to be. I had my bigger vision. I knew the trajectory and I knew where I was heading. So, I used that to gain experience, but I didn't stay there. So the goal is, if you're starting low, rise quickly so that you can get to the market that you want to be in. And it's not because by pricing low, you're undercutting the market. A lot of photographers get really upset about people that need to get those first few bookings, need to get that experience, and say that they're undercutting. The reason for me wanting you to raise your prices is not because it's negatively impacting me. I have a completely different market than you. It's because I know that if you stay in those lower price ranges, you are likely going to get burnt out, and you're not going to be doing this 5 or 10 years from now. You're going to be struggling, and I don't want that for you. So then kind of the next point is, if your vision is bigger than the current market that you're in right now, then you need to strategically price yourself out of that market. And this is another kind of philosophy I developed. And the best way to illustrate it is I actually have a little diagram I drew for you guys. And so say this is your market that you're in right now. I like to think of different markets as kind of different pricing bubbles that you're in. So as you're raising up, at a certain point, you're gonna hit kind of the top barrier of what that market is comfortable paying, the market that you're currently in. And it's going to keep you within your bubble. You might even raise your prices a little bit outside of it, but you'll stop getting bookings. You'll notice that the bookings are drying up when you rise above that kind of threshold. And what happens is most photographers, when that happens, are going to shrink back down. They're going to lower their prices, or if they don't lower their prices, what they're going to do is lower it through discounts, and kind of shrink back down to meet, that market threshold. But what they don't realize is just outside of that barrier is a whole new market that opens the doors to a newer price point, newer clientele, and regardless of where you want to be, there is a market that supports it. You just have to be brave enough to push yourself into that new market. So knowing this and having kind of this theory, I knew that when, at a certain point, my brides were stretching to afford me, and they were amazing and they were loyal. But I knew where I wanted to be and the type of weddings that I wanted to photograph, and the number of weddings I wanted to take a year while also hitting a certain numbers goal in my business. I needed to be charging more. So I knew that at a certain point, as I did another price jump, I would be priced out of the market that I was in, and I would need to switch up my marketing to be able to market to this new bride. it's a totally different market. So you know, as you're raising and pricing yourself out of that market, you also need to be backing it up with, you know, how you market, how you reinvest back into your business. So be thinking of like kind of different ways that you can reach that new bride. So this might be investing in coaching or one-on-one mentorship. This is something I offer, or you know, there's a lot of different photographers that offer it, but maybe find somebody that's where you want to be and look at maybe having them coach you. It's one of the best ways that you can get to that level quickly. The other way is through online courses or workshops, reinvesting back into new gear, better lenses, better camera equipment, things that are going to improve your quality and what you're offering, like that end product. Anything like that should be along with a price raise. Also, doing styled shoots that are in line with the kind of weddings that you wanted to be getting, as well as looking at maybe doing a rebrand or doing like a new website that is more in line with that new target market. So these are all things that you can kind of think about to go along with that price jump and target that new market of brides. So just as a quick recap on the 3 strategies, first, it's important to switch up your mindset. You are not your ideal client. 2, you want to develop a clear vision, and not just for where you want to be, but the journey to get there. And then 3, you want to rise up fast, strategically price yourself out of the current market you're in and ask, what are photographers at that next level doing that's helping them reach that new market of brides? I know pricing can be a big topic and an emotional one for a lot of people, and it's also super individualized. So if you have any other pricing related questions, drop them below. I would love to hear them, and I definitely plan on making a lot more content revolving around this topic. And if you would like me personally to help you with your pricing strategy, I'm starting to offer one-on-one coaching and mentorship, anywhere from video Skype sessions to in-person mini workshops, which I'm really excited about. So I'll include a link with a little bit more information below in case you're interested in checking that out. I'm taking a limited number of students for the summer season, and would absolutely love to talk with you about your business goals and how I can help make them a reality. I'm really an open book during these sessions, and we can talk about anything from the shooting, editing, workflow side of things to more of the business and marketing side of things. I really just want to help. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I will see you next time.